Democrat House Majority Leader Steny is defending Rashida Tlaib's controversial remarks about the Holocaust. Hoyer's accusing the president and Republicans of taking her comments out of context and claims that they owe her an apology. Meanwhile, a reformist imam is speaking out against Tlaib, and Representative Ilhan Omar. One America's Jack Posobiec has more from Washington.
We're very excited to welcome here to One America News for the very first time Imam Muhammad Tawhidi, the author of The Tragedy of Islam. Imam, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Now, I've read your book and I'm very familiar with your social media posts where you've been extremely critical of radical Islam, but you've also talked about the ties between radical Islam and, here in the United States, the Democrat Party. So please, if I could ask you about that.
If you look at Ilhan Omar, she herself, from my observation, is an Islamist. She believes in the same ideology as CARE. She goes to their events. She fundraises for them. She does everything she can to promote their brand of Islam. She doesn't go to the reformist mosques or communities. She goes to the extremist ones. The same with Rashida Tlaib, hanging out with people who want to annihilate the Jewish state. So that makes the situation even more dangerous because an extremist comes with an extremist agenda in the Congress. Someone who only has extremist ties messes around every now and then, but they're focused on their own socialist agenda, for example. That's the difference, and that is even more dangerous when you look at it this way. When Ilhan Omar, focuses on setting the narrative against the Jews in this country, she's focused on AIPAC. She's focused on Jewish lobbies. Do you know how many Qatari lobbies are active in Washington, D.C.? Why does she never point the finger that way? Why are you targeting the Jews only? And I'll tell you why. Number one, because they're Jews. Number two, she has an agenda. She wants to normalize anti-Semitism and at the end of the day, change the global narrative against the Jews. How does this affect America? This affects America because she's bringing the war in the Middle East to Washington, D.C.
Now, when you mention a foolish Democrat who has extremist friends, I think the first name that pops into my head is, of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. How do you see, and again, in your view, how do you see her play into this mix? Because we know that she is, of course, close friends with these two.
She's never ready to be in the forefront of condemning anti-Semitism. She's never in the forefront of criticizing Islamic extremists. I haven't seen. In the recent attacks, she said nothing.
The Easter massacre, she was silent.
Silent. For her to make such a statement, oh, I was away, but it's like we memorize her schedule, yeah? When it's New Zealand, she's there. Why? Because they're Muslims. But when it's Christians, she's away. So I think AOC, that's my concern. Don't be biased when expressing yourself. Be genuine. It's about justice. When they're Christians, stand up for them. When they're Jews, stand up for them. When they're Muslims, do the same. My second concern is I think that AOC really doesn't know that she's a puppet. That's my view of things. I think she's a front and she's in for a very long ride. And I don't think she knows that she's being used as a front for a bigger organization, which could be the Justice Dems. And then if you take a look at their funding, it's very clear who they answer to.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.